So what do you think of the new Justice League Tower, everyone?
Well, I think we should probably destroy this because it's gonna probably affect the tides and, satellites around the world are probably gonna bounce into this. This thing should not be here.
Why? It's so big and cool. I just changed the passwords. No one's gonna come back
I'm
in.
pretty sure some parts of the world aren't gonna receive sunlight now.
Hello, everyone. This is Bad Take Deletes, where we take your takes and delete them. That's what we do.
We hate your takes.
We hate your takes.
We hate them so bad. Every time that we ask you a question, guys, check back in a week. Those questions are gone. The answers you give are completely removed.
Yeah, we just completely change what you're saying. You don't even know if these are real people asking
No, you have
questions.
no idea. These have been bots from day one. Are we supposed?
Bots?
We'll cut.
No, we did figure out that our longtime fan was a Daniel Santiago is a real person because for the longest
I don't believe
time
that still.
he was responding in ways that only a bot maybe would, but then he timestamped specific parts where we mentioned him. So everyone say hello to Daniel Santiago. Very cool guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, suspiciously around the same time that ChatGPT is now able to access the internet. I'm just saying, just pointing it out or whatever, whatever.
Yeah, for the longest time, ChatGPT wasn't a part of the internet. It was just kind of like doing random shit or whatever, going like, I can't access the internet, but I can tell you what date is.
I love how fucked we are now because, like, if you Google certain questions now, like the Quora or whatever that website is, the first answer most of the time is going to be a ChatGPT, and it's just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the example. Yeah.
Go on.
I saw one example. Someone posted, like, can you melt an egg?
Can you?
Which obviously
Can
you can't. Well, according to ChatGPT, you can. If you put it in a fucking microwave at a certain temperature when the planets align.
Okay, real question. Did you actually know if you can melt an egg? Did you?
I know you can't melt an egg. Unless you... I mean, if you were to, like, soft boil it, maybe?
Maybe disintegrate it. Does disintegrating count as melting?
Okay, yeah. In the alternate world where we have the fucking ray beams from... whatever, Ray Beam World.
Ray Beam World.
When we have the Ray Beam World Ray Beams and the Ray Beam World eggs from the Ray Beam World, maybe they'll melt.
Wasn't that it?
And that's the full ChatGPT answer.
Wasn't that a DC character? A DC character who got beamed up from a ray and now he's in a different world doing ray things and he's like, I gotta wait for this ray to come bring me back to Earth.
Yeah, that's Aquaman.
Is it Aquaman?
Yeah.
Really? What else?
Yeah.
Speaking of Aquaman, today in this episode, we're going to be talking about Justice League, the animated series, the first one, not unlimited, because I've been rewatching it.
Which I am a big fan of that show, and I will say ahead of time to the chat, I am very sorry if I say chat. I'm very sorry
chat.
if I get if I get any of the answers wrong, or I'm talking about shit from Unlimited. I really mix the two up very often, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's valid. I think it's all right.
Are they different canons?
Not really. I feel like Unlimited is just like I'm pretty sure Justice League ends with Superman talking about how fucking like we're going to expand, and then Unlimited is that expansion.
I'm glad he set out to do what he wanted to do. He said we're going to do this, and we did it.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I'm just saying.
Because there's only like 6 of them. Not even Aquaman. He doesn't really... I'm rewatching Justice League, right? First season. Finished the Metamorpho episode, which we'll get to soon. We saw Aquaman once. Once.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a big presence in this.
Because, like, I actually have a toy. Well, I guess it's a toy of Aquaman and Superman from the animated series with, Aquaman's hook arm and everything. I'm like, oh, how's this gonna come into play? And it's like, it doesn't.
I'm so glad they went with that design.
And this show's a lot more bloody and adult from what I'm used to. Seeing, like, TVY7 stuff or whatever. I was like, oh.
Yeah. It catches you off guard rewatching it, but like they really got away with like murder, and in some cases actual murder with that show.
I think for murder you can do it off screen, but you can't use guns. No. It's gotta be lasers and blasters.
Tell me this: is the episode worth the Dream Reaper or whatever it is, the guy that goes between dreams and just fucking kills you? Is that Unlimited or is that this?
It must be Unlimited because I haven't seen that episode yet.
Damn it!
We can talk about the Metamorpho episode. That was a fun one I saw recently.
Yes.
You want to lead into your favorite character, my friend?
Oh yeah, Rex Manson, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Element Man, Metamorpho. He is a fucked up looking guy, and they looked at him as a fucked up looking guy, and they said, let's make a plot about how his family thinks he's a fucked up looking guy.
Well, we gotta lead into it. So when we first see Rex Mason, he's on like a train, and everyone is attracted to him. The train conductor, the stewardess, the henchman, dad's like, oh my god, this guy is so beautiful. I want to kiss his face. I want to suck his dick. And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get burned or something. He's gonna get mangled in the face. And I was right.
Yep. Just gets fucked up completely.
And a guy who looks very much like a supervillain is like, I show military things. You know how your workers die easily? What if we made a worker that doesn't die easily? And the investors are like, yeah, that's stupid. Maybe come back if you have a test subject. He's like, I'll find someone. I'm like, I wonder who it'll be.
Yeah, they really, I don't know. I mean, Bruce Timm also did the Batman, the animated series, and there's a big similarity, I'd say, between how he orchestrates the Clayface episode in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's fine. Bruce Timm has the same touch here and there, but I'm rambling. I have no idea what I'm saying.
You're rambling?
Yeah, look, I haven't watched this episode in a minute, man, but like, I do remember one scene in particular that always stands out to me.
Yeah, go on.
It's a bit later in the episode. It's towards the climax when he's like he tries to find his family and his kid.
Yeah.
Who, at this point, don't they think he's dead?
No.
No, they don't think he's
Not in
dead.
this one. He doesn't have a kid in this one. Spoilers. He has a kid. He
What?
fucks. Metamorpho?
He doesn't have a kid in this one?
No. He has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is the daughter of the evil businessman. Yeah, he's the one who turned him into this. He originally thought that Green Lantern did this for some reason. I was like, how?
Okay.
Why would you think Green Lantern's like, he's always been jealous of me having a girlfriend and him not having a girlfriend? I'm like, okay, I'm sure Green Lantern gets all the babes, being Green Lantern.
Well, that's Green Lantern's secret power. He can make constructs with his ring, and then his second power is if he switches the ring off, it metamorphoses you.
Yeah, no, I think Metamorpho, seeing him defeat the Justice League so easily, like, he generated kryptonite from his hand and was like, Superman's bothering me? Kryptonite arm.
He can't... I don't think in the comics he can do that.
Probably not. He'd be too OP, one would say. But he was slippering and swapping around, and he has like 4 patterns on his chest. I'm like, that must be a lot to animate in color to keep track of.
Oh, his model must have been a pain in the ass.
They're like, he can turn into a thing of gas, but also liquid, and also his face is still there. I'm like, oh my god, why would you? This is a hard episode to animate for them.
I like to imagine that the fucking animation room looked like Shrek, how they had Shrek, where it's like if you badmouthed or fucked up enough times, you'd be forced to animate Shrek. If you fucked around too much with Bruce Timm, he's like, all right, you're animating Metamorpho, and you're like, no!
He's like, he's not even in this episode. He's like, we can have a flashback.
He's in the background and he's doing backflips and turning in the air.
In terms of a flashback episode, remember when the Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Hawkgirl got transported to a parallel world?
I think we're talking about my favorite episode right now.
The Justice Guild of America, not Justice Society.
Yes.
Because I
No.
actually read the behind the scenes. But do you want to tell the story?
No, wait. What's the behind the scenes on this?
So originally, let me pull it up. There was supposed to be the Justice Society of America, but the creators of it were like, this doesn't seem like it'll be too good as the legacy, which we'll get into why that for a bit. And so they said, can you change some of the characters very slightly? I'm like, okay, sure.
What?
It's like a Watchmen kind of deal.
That's really dumb because didn't they also included Black Canary's mom?
Yeah.
Which that's pretty much that she straight up is in the Justice Society, so she just got gutted from the team and the rest of them got changed?
Yes. Yep.
That would have been I remember rewatching it and just being so flabbergasted that they didn't put like even just Jay Garrick in it, because like he fits. They didn't change his dynamic with the Flash about how he's like, oh, he's a comic book hero when I grew up. That's how it was in the comics of Jay. It didn't make any sense.
Well, if you remember, there's a very subtle thing in this episode between Jon Stewart and one of the 19... Okay, we gotta establish it, okay. So they get transported into a new dimension fighting Lex Luthor, who is still, like, dying from, like, kryptonite poisoning. They didn't fix that. He's still dying from that, by the way.
For those that don't know, he fucking... he's been using kryptonite to just say fuck off Superman for the longest time, not realizing that the glowing green space rock might not, be good to have in contact. It's not like
Yeah.
If you remember Back to the Future, you didn't see Doc grabbing the plutonium out of his fucking baggie and throwing it in there. He had like a hazmat suit, gloves, and a bar. Lex Luthor just raw dogged that shit for years.
Yeah, he kept some of his
And
colon,
that was-
he kept some of his ass, he kept some of his ears, just in case,
That last one, that the ass one was a bit dangerous because if the pink kryptonite comes in, you might need it. But I'm just saying it was. That it was, he got fucking space age poison death beam rays coming in through his hand, so now he's fucked.
Yeah, we'll get back to this other episode, but yeah, in that episode, instead of trying to cure himself or anything, because Superman's like, Lex, do you need help, or are you okay? Do you need help? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go rob banks. And so Lex gathers a B team of supervillains to rob banks, and I'm like, are you okay, dude? You okay, Lex? You're not gonna do a little
Look,
research?
with the amount of money that man has, he's essentially just making a withdrawal.
Yeah, because it's like Lex is a super smart guy. Surely he can like synthesize something or make some clones or do something. Nope, he just has radiation poisoning.
Dumbass.
Completely dumbass. And so in the episode where they meet the Justice Guild of America, I think part of the reason was the script. Like it's implied that one of the guild members is racist.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that they didn't age well. So pretty much for those who didn't see it, just imagine the JSA, but like each character is a parody of themselves essentially.
Yeah, they
And
treat the one woman character as just like a housewife. They're like, can you go bake us food? And she's like, okie dokie. And Hot Girl's like, why is she doing this? Why is she okay? And I believe it was the Flash variant was talking to Jon Stewart, and he's like, you're a credit to your people. And he's like, thanks?
Yeah, it got pretty bad.
It's like, I wonder why they didn't want to Justice Society as part of this. And so in this episode, it's like, why is this weird 1950s thing going on? What's the best way to explain it? Jon Stewart read these comics as a kid, and apparently in universe, the person who wrote the comics had a psychic link to this alternate universe and wrote stories about it. And when the world got destroyed, he stopped writing comics about it. And the other guy, I think it was again the Flash, was like, yep, that's right. That's exactly it. No more questions. This is how we know it.
Just knew.
Just knew. And my favorite thing was just seeing these very stupid superheroes, like the German musician riding a flute or whatever with his magic accordion that blasts people. I'm like, this is classic Bronze Age.
Which is straight up based off of a real comic book. I forget, was that the one that was that solved with like like they had like the fucking cupcakes or whatever come in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's based off of a real comic ad that I have. I own that.
Yeah.
There's a Batman thing where it's like this band is playing and this guy possesses them. And it's all solved with like hostess like blueberry like pie that is all hand them out and they just all snack on it. And the accordion guy, it's not I forget what it was. I think it was a piano. He gets his ass handed to him.
Well, I was watching that episode and going like, you're super good at making cars. Why don't you just be a mechanic? You're super good at making cool ass cars. Because it's like a flute with flames on it, and it's like, oh my god, that thing's fast. You're in the wrong business.
I'll be real though. Like, you could have any talent in the world. If I build an accordion that does shit other than make music, I'm probably sticking with that.
Why don't you just, if you're so, like, if you're a super villain, here's some good advice just for Superman villains. If you're so good at making weapons, just sell them to the military. Why are you robbing banks? Work with the government.
There's a Superman comic where this guy makes a jetpack and he's trying to rob a bank and Superman catches him midair and he's like, holy shit, did you build this? He's like, yeah, in my garage. He's like, and he says, he's like, you built a jetpack in your garage and your first idea was to do crime, and the guy just like reality hits him. He's like, oh my god. And Superman lets him go. He's like, just fucking return the money and go and sell the jetpack. He's like, thanks, Superman.
It's always been man's dream to have a jetpack that works and doesn't burn off our legs.
Yeah, I like that second part. I motion for that.
We do have a jetpack that it's like a water one. Like, you ever seen those where people are in the water and it sucks up water and propels it out so you can like hover around water? You ever seen that?
Yeah, those are the funniest things ever.
But it's back to the Legends episode. It turns out it's all a construct from a very malformed kid who got super radiationed in the fucking face. And it was like, meh.
Yeah, he was the fucking Jimmy Olsen of the group the entire time, and then it turns out he's fucking all messed up in the head. I like that reveal in that episode. It was actually pretty good. It got me off as a guard as a kid. I was like, he's fucking weird. Squish his brain.
And it's like, again, for these supervillains, like, if you're so good at doing mental things and telepathy, why didn't you just rebuild the city, you fucking idiot?
Why didn't you just build a jetpack in your garage that didn't require water power?
I think one of my favorite episodes would be in Blackest Night, where the Green Lantern was like, he surrendered himself to the robotic manhunters, which, again, in a lot of these episodes, the Justice League gets their ass handed to them easily, even with Superman.
Yeah, especially Superman.
And so the Green Lantern is accused of blowing up an entire fucking planet, and we're like, oh my god, did he? Seems like he did.
And again, these are like a lot of the stories in Justice League, I'll give credit to them, they follow the comics pretty well. You can always tie back his story to an actual issue most of the time. And
so for this episode, they had to prove, like, even his Green Lantern friends are like, nah, he definitely did that shit. We're gonna show it from emotional support, but nah, he did it.
Yeah, in the comics, it's those robot manhunters or whatever, and they're going after him. They turn out to be like evil or whatever, but like they're accusing him of murder.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they beat the shit out of him and throw him in like a dumpster.
Yeah, it turns out that the robot guys are also evil. They're like, oh, we're robots and we want to take over because we're evil. I'm like,
evil.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna do this now. And keep in mind that for season 1, season 2, Justice League, It's like the whole show. I don't know why I said season 1, season 2, like is gonna be different. They're 2-parters, so it's a part 1, part 2. Unprecedented. What do you think of that?
Unprecedented. Well, I always thought it was okay when you're binging it, but like watching it as a kid is impossible because like you would watch part 1 and you'd be lucky if whatever station you were watching on decided to like put them in order. Normally they just fucking like, you know, DJ freestyle that shit and just put like whatever episodes they wanted in whatever order.
Yeah.
So you'd watch part 1 of that, like Superman gets fucking blown up and dies, and you're like, holy shit, Superman's dead. And then you're like, what? How are they gonna finish this up? And the next episode's like the Flash eating ice cream, and you're like, what?
Like I guess they solved that one off screen.
Thanks. Did Superman get fucking teleported to like the alternate future in this one, or is it unlimited?
I believe it was unlimited.
Okay,
actually
look,
no.
guy.
Actually no, it was season 2. Season 2. So you can talk about it. You want to talk about that?
That
one?
episode fucking rocks. Yeah, that episode's awesome, dude. It's based off another story. I love watching the show because now that I'm older and I've read the comics, I can finally see like the similarities. His design is based off of a comic in the 40s. Superman it was an issue where he gets transported to a world under a red sun. He gets a beard all scruffed up and shit. The rest of the episode is just freestyles it, like I'm saying. It does its own thing. But seeing that designing the show is really cool. You want to talk about that episode a little bit?
Yeah, I've always wondered why in standard canon, Clark doesn't just grow a beard. You know, like, is it really gonna hide his identity if he says, I'm gonna grow a beard? And then Superman also has a beard. Like, does he have to be clean shaven all the time? You know?
Well, beards mean you're evil.
Oh, you're right. Goatee? Maybe a mustache. What if
mustaches are even worse?
What if he had a pencil? No, what if he had mutton chops, like the 1800s?
That's why he was replaced by Lobo.
Oh yeah, Lobo. We almost got a Lobo film. Go check out the podcast where we talked about that one.
We talked about it in that episode.
We'll show it on screen. There it is. Oh, hope you liked it. Just a split second. But tell me about Hereafter. That's what the episode's called, by the way. Hereafter.
That's a really good episode because it deals with the... I don't know. I feel like the story takes the show can take itself pretty seriously when it needs to. Like, I thought the funeral was pretty nice with Superman dead, and you got to see even Batman's all fucking pissed off about it. But he doesn't give up. He's the only one that doesn't believe he's dead.
I mean, he's seen, like, him get crushed, him get laser beamed in the face, him get dead before and comes back. So it's like, yeah, I don't think he's dead. And then Lobo's like, I'm gonna replace him.
Lobo, that's like the best. It's the best version of Lobo we've ever gotten in that show because he introduces himself by just flying straight through the fucking window in the satellite base they have in space. Just straight through. He's like, "What's up? I'm here to join. How you doing? I'm Lobo, bitch." And they let him. They bring him on.
They say, I guess Martian Manhunter doesn't want to be it, so why don't you be earlier? You're good. You can do it.
You have a motorcycle.
Still mad that we haven't gotten a Lobo film, or even a Lobo TV series, because it's like CGI gray dude with a motorcycle in space who bounty hunts.
They already proved that you could do the gray guy thing with the fucking Bloodshot movie they had with, I think it was Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Which was, that movie existed.
It did exist, definitely so.
It happened. It was a real movie.
Another episode that I'd like to Justice League was about Gorilla City. Remember Gorilla City?
I forget that episode.
Okay, so the Flash and Green Lantern uncover a plot by Gorilla Grodd to destroy Gorilla City. It's just like in Africa, there's a hidden city like covered up by like rays or something, and it's like these super intelligent gorillas are like, no, we're not evil. That other gorilla is evil. We gotta help him not destroy Gorilla City. And this one time, because I always hate it in like Marvel films when they go like, is that your name? Oh my god, you're wearing that as a costume? No, in this one, a gorilla talking? Bit silly. Bit silly.
It's dumb.
Except previously, in the episode where Lex Luthor gets his like kryptonited in the face, there's already a talking gorilla. Remember? The guy with the big brain? Gorilla brain?
Yeah, I forget his name. He's with fucking the... I always forget their names. Him in the brain. Him in the master, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it was in the Adventures of Superman show. Great show. Maybe we can make a whole video about that.
Show.
Who knows?
Have we not?
I don't know. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I guess you have to go check out our other episode.
This is all genius. This is marketing.
There's also the episode called Fury, where it's about a rogue Amazonian. She's not really an Amazonian. She's like a adopted Amazonian who tries to destroy all men on Earth with like a pathogen. You gonna go to that one?
Not ringing a bell.
So basically, they defeat her by saying, "This is the person who leads the island of Amazonians. What's her name again? Tell me her name." Hippolyta. She's like, "You can't kill every man. A man saved you." And she has a flashback scene because she had abusive parents. She had abusive government. Everyone died. and she wound up on the Amazonian island. But it turns out that the captain of the ship, who's a man, saved her and was the only man buried on the Masira. And she's like, oh my god, I can't kill every man now.
I remember now. Yeah, that was a cute story.
I was like, that's fun. That's cool.
I'm pretty sure, is Justice League also the one where we get the Crime Syndicate?
Yes.
Or like the Justice Lords?
I believe so, yes.
That's also a
Season
really
2.
good episode. Yes. Yeah, you need to watch season 2 because it gets pretty good then.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember, because I remember all those episodes. I remember watching that. That was, and people, again, for those who don't know, it's the episode where they meet the Justice Lords, who are pretty much like the Justice League on steroids, because they come from a world where Superman just said, you know what, fuck it, Luthor, I'm just going to blow your fucking head off. You killed the Flash, and I like him because he's red and yellow, and those are my favorite colors.
You're missing an important part.
He kills him.
This is one of the many stories where Lex Luthor is president in an alternate universe.
Which you better get used to, because they like that plot a lot in the show.
I hope they do it for My Adventures of Superman. They're like, he's president now. Why not? Sure. Fuck it.
Fuck it. Who cares? I mean, he's in the show. He's in there for 5. I think actually 15 seconds is about how much screen time he has. He can be president next episode. Let's start it off strong.
I really like the designs of the Justice Lords with the white cape Superman. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Beyond suit that he has.
But I do think about, we talked about this before, where it's like, you sure you don't want to kill like some of these guys? 'Cause some of them are terrible, and they're not stopping.
They had the Joker as a bellhop. He works the desk at the fucking, insane asylum. Oh, yeah, by the way, kids show. They lobotomize every fucking villain.
Oh.
And you see the little dot on their head. They lobotomize them.
Better than killing them.
No. Well, I mean, maybe, but holy shit. They fucking ice picked those sons of bitches. All of them.
This is great because this is a litmus test of what we can get away with in a TVY7 show, which means that we should do more lobotomizations in TVY7 shows.
Oh, yeah. There's one scene I like about that show. Again, the show is pretty fun to watch because it does, I don't know, it's not like dumb, flashing colors and shit. There's one scene where I think Batman and Batman, which is a fun sentence, are driving down the street and some guy gets fucking arrested because he didn't tip or something.
That's America for you.
And the Batman of the future lords, this is the city that our parents would have wanted. And then the other Batman's like, is it really? And the other one just stares off into space, and you're like, oh shit.
And the other Batman's like, oh, I didn't think farther than that one sentence.
He didn't think at all, man.
Is it?
He's like, I didn't read beyond the script.
He's like, did you also get the note from our parents that read, please give away all of our money when we die. We don't want you to be a spoiled brat. It's like, no, I didn't read that.
There's right next to the note saying, I'm shot.
And right next to it says, you're actually brothers with the Joker. You'll get what this means in the future.
Melvin, brother of the Joker.
Have they ever done a comic series where it's like, actually, it turns out the Joker's your long-lost brother? Have they ever done that?
No, but they did do one where Superman and Batman are brothers because space parents adopted them.
Well, if you remember in the original Justice League Part 2 that Zack Snyder was going to have, I'll read this to you. Superman's son wasn't going to have any powers, which is kind of like, I'd fucking hate the world if I was the son of Superman and didn't have any powers. And
I'd be pissed off.
His son becomes the next Batman.
Sure.
Because why not?
I mean, let's not make this into a Snyder conversation because I can go on for hours about that, but what the fuck? Why?
Why don't we look at some questions and clarifications?
That was it. King of Transitions.
King of Transitions. LeoSong8298. This actually isn't a question, it's a clarification. In the last episode where we talked about kryptonites that affect people, we wondered if magic mushrooms, like if you ate mushrooms and got high, if it would affect Superman. And so LeoSong says, it is a chemical. Magic mushrooms have a chemical called cyclobin, I hope I pronounced it right, which is converted in cyclone, which gets you high. Also, metabolism isn't just in your digestive system, it's everything in your body that converts food into energy. So Superman can get high. This is useful information.
I was right and wrong, because I did make that metabolism comment, but I did say it was a chemical. So that means I'm correct in everything I've ever said in my life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Thank you, Liz-song.
That's what that means.
And now we got some statements. We got some statements from the fans about... I asked them what they thought about Justice League. The first one, not Unlimited. We'll get to Unlimited another time. Not next week. Or maybe we will. Who knows?
Maybe.
That Geek Boy. Killer theme song. Really fun show. Love the dynamic for Superman and Batman. Also, Bruce Wayne used the Justice League Tower as a tax write-off. I mean, yeah. How did he... He's like, it wasn't in the first episode. He already had the tower built or something. And he's like, I'm done. We're good.
What tower?
The Justice League Tower in space, where it's like... I just have this for some reason.
I think they convert it out of like some villain shit. I know in the comics there was like this whole fake Justice League that shows up that turns out to be just total douchebags, which the Superman legacy movie is focused on. The villains of that movie are the characters I'm talking about.
Which stars Metamorpho.
This is all tie-in.
All tie-in.
Let's just be honest. We're sponsored by James Gunn is standing right behind me right now. He's fiddling his thumbs.
That makes more sense. You know, they already made it.
It would. Yeah, fuck it. But they straight up just like say like, hey, this thing's in the sky. What should we do? And you're like, let's just move in.
Yeah,
let's put a foosball table in there.
I'm gonna be Batman and you be Superman. We'll play introducing this like, so what do you think of the new Justice League Tower, everyone?
Well, I think we should probably destroy this because it's gonna probably affect the tides and satellites around the world are probably gonna bounce into this thing should not be
Why?
Here.
It's so big and cool. I just changed the passwords. No one's gonna come back in.
I'm pretty sure some parts of the world aren't gonna receive sunlight now.
Not every part of the world has sunlight.
Batman, we can't. I know you like to hang out in the dark areas, but it's not gonna. We can't have the entire state of New Jersey in. Actually, this is good. Let's keep it. We're good. This is fine. We're decent.
Superman,
this is all
if
right.
I could name all the places you do not go to, you'd be on a watch list. You wanna go in there?
I've been where?
New Jersey. When's the last time you saved everyone in New Jersey?
I'm gonna go eat some sporks.
We actually have a lot of those. Check the back room.
The spork room that was there when the aliens invaded.
They're the ones.
Here's another comment.
Go on.
This is a big one. Let's not answer that one. Guys, keep your answers a little short, okay? We get it. You're creative. You have a lot of comp words to say, but read good. Thank you. The best Batman Beyond episode happened in the series with Bruce meeting Terry McGinnis. That is a fucking awesome episode.
Yes.
Have you gotten there?
So I already know about all this fun stuff where it's like, actually, Terry McGinnis is Batman's son, but he didn't mean to be Batman's son. It's like a clone kind of situation kind of thing. You can get that?
I think they're referring to a different episode.
Yeah.
I think they're referring to when the Justice League gets transported into the future.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's that guy going around just grabbing valuable things from time and space.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really cool episode because we see young Bruce meet old Bruce and old Bruce meet young Bruce and young Bruce meet Terry and Terry meet young Bruce. And not a lot of people remember this. Hal Jordan shows up for like a split second, which is very awkward.
Oh wow!
Because I think towards the end is when they're fighting the time guy and like these waves going through and changing things up because they fucked around a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
And for a bit, Jon Stewart becomes Hal Jordan, which is a, okay moment. And everyone's like, "Who's that?" And he's like, "I'm just here.
I'm just the guy with a ring.
I'm Hal Jordan." Yep. He's here now.
Yeah, I always like time travel episodes in the sense of, is this linear time? Is this a new timeline? Can we go back to the old timeline kind of thing? Like of Loki,
I'm the Joker, baby.
So I'm going to read this one because you'll like it. Generic content. Guy who runs fast. Woman who wonders. Space Jesus, in parentheses, JJ will get it. Woman with wings. And a locked character. Never seen it. Where can I watch? And then someone commented Netflix for some reason. On Max.
Wait, what? Who's the unlocked character?
Why don't you comment generic content? Which one is the locked character?
Because that's. Hold on. Where's this comment?
It better not be a racist joke.
Guy who runs fast, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, Hawk Girl, and a locked character. Okay, so locked character can either be Batman, but based on the
Green
picture,
Lantern.
I'm thinking that. Oh.
There's no.
Oh no.
There should be no racism in our
You
comments.
really liked the Hal Jordan episode, didn't you? When they switched him out for a second, you probably were like, "Fucking
hooping, hollering." He had a bowl of popcorn and drink in his hand, and it flew into the room and stained the carpet. He's like, "Wowie zowie."
They're gonna clip this part of it and they're gonna show it to your parents in your school while they're explaining why you're being expelled. So, thanks for commenting, buddy. Kidding. I love
Ignatius Klepto 5136. Great storytelling and the animation isn't perfect. It's very much the time period and struggles like other Bruce Timm shows to remain faithful to the comics. Comics is capitalized with letter C's for some reason. I can't say I blame him for wanting more creative control. This is a long comment, by the way. But there are times it's completely infuriating. Completely frustrating. For example, whole generations now completely misunderstand the honk man, honk girl dynamic or comic book roots because of a ship, GL and her, Green Lantern and her. We also saw a lot of these characters struggle in comics of the show because they weren't exactly like it. For example, when we talk about comics, there's always comic people in the comments. And you know what that means. Lore dumping. Well, always being the Flash here made it so that Barry Allen can come back. The personality is kind of forced to be more humorous. It also has more pros than cons, and I will say the show did something really well. Martian Manhunter, for instance, owes his continued relevance to the show. Without it, he wouldn't be known hardly at all the mainstream. The only thing I can respond to is the animation, because I've been watching this on Max, and they have it in like, I don't think it is 1080p, but it's 4:3, so maybe like 1440 by 1080p, like a 4:3. You do see a lot of animation mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's just the curse of having a show presented in like way too much quality that the animators never expected.
Like sometimes they forget to finish a frame, maybe for a brief second they keep talking, but their mouths are like, they keep talking but the mouths are not moving, or from very far away they swap the colors of the characters. It's nothing you would really like care about, but it is fun to be like, oh no, there it is.
I will say, on the topic of Bruce Timm's involvement, especially when it comes to shipping, he is very hit or miss with that. I don't know why he has such an interest in pairing characters up. Like, I did like that they paired Wonder Woman and Batman up. I thought that, because like that's still popular even now, and that kind of, I'm sure it happened in the comics once or twice, but it really originated heavily from this. Especially Hot Girl and Green Lantern, which I thought was fine. But have you ever seen the Killing Joke movie?
Yeah, the one where they added 30 extra minutes.
Yep. And you remember what happened? Those extra 30 minutes?
Batman got a latte. No. It was a long sequence where Batman's in broad daylight and he's like, I need to get some coffee. Do.
That's actually the opening of Despicable Me, which is on I can understand the mix-up there.
Yeah.
But they have a whole scene where Batman fucks Batgirl.
They show it, penetration and all.
When Bruce Timm did the comic version of the animated series, they had a scene where Batgirl was pregnant with his kid, Batman's kid.
I think maybe Bruce Timm was like, you know what? These kids really, these characters really have kids. What if they do? Let's see what they look like. Let me draw them. You see, everyone likes them. Let me do it. Let me do it.
He had a weird fucking like fascination with pairing up Batman and Batgirl. No matter the context, he just kept forcing it in. There's so much art that he has of Batgirl and Batman. It's so fucking, whatever. But
in most instances of Batman, I refuse to believe that he has sex out of pleasure. Like he's too busy wondering where the Joker is or something. Like, really? Him having fun?
Whenever he does, they die.
He's like, this is a clever ruse for me to get like an SD card or like a floppy disk or something. I'm like, that's why he's having sex. Not because he wants some leisure time, because it's a mission thing. That's the Batman I know.
So he's like Light from Death Note.
Yeah. All right, we got one more. Just kidding, we got two more. We'll do two more. Ultimate Lance 8466. Excellent. The introduction to Justice Lords is cool. We talked about that one.
Hey, when are we gonna get a comment from a guy that's just his name is like just Dave or Cool Guy?
Well, I'm sure Cool Guy was like one of the first usernames taken on the website or any website.
I know. I wish that was my name.
All right, we got one last one. Brian Dominguez 8774. Haven't watched it, and the immediate first comment is, "You're missing a childhood."
That's not good. You kind of need that.
I don't know when he was born. Maybe he was born after the show.
Maybe he wasn't born.
Aired. So.
Maybe this is another case of AI.
Yeah, it could be another AI comment. The classic BadTakeDelete AI comments. They keep showing up.
I love that for us.
I love that. Thanks for the bots that show. I've never seen a tweet that was like, I don't care if it's a porn bot following me. A follow's a follow.
Yeah, thanks for the love, dude.
Thanks for watching, supporting. That means someone out there made a bot and said, you know what? Give it to BadTakeDelete. Give it to them. Thank you.
Fuck it. Give it to them.
But that's it for this podcast. If you want to see more of it, go watch the episodes, and you should join the server. Join the Discord server.
Yeah, Discord down below. I'm there. I'll be there, and when you join, I will call you by your name.
You'll call you by your government name.
Any time of day that you join.
Even at 2 a.m.
Not the name that you have on Discord. No.
You'll call you a name. Won't be a good one.
I will. It won't even be on the Discord. You'll just hear it like outside your window,
whispering,
like through the crickets and wind and rain. You'll hear an echo of your name out down on the street. You don't know where it's from. You don't know who said it. By the time you open the window, I'm gone. But that was me.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Especially you, David.